everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I thought I'd sit down and share with you kind of a chit chat get ready with me. I figured we could talk a little bit about my low buy and a little bit about just like the status of me and my channel and kind of things that I'm thinking right now. I have done a few of these videos this year where I kind of just sit down and talk about like my thoughts and kind of where I'm at the moment. And it's been a couple months since I've done so I figured we would just kind of have a chance to kind of regroup, reconnect, and talk about what's going on. So I am going to do my makeup. I have a look, kind of like a loose idea in my mind of what I want to do. I really want to play with green eyeshadow, you know, that's my usual jam. But I painted my nails like this green color last night, which is a 000 polish. And I really want to play with like a bright green kind of like this. So I'm thinking the green from the Zulu palette is what I want to do, the Juvia's Place, the Zulu. And other than that, probably just going to use a ton of Project Pan items. And yeah, I'm already hopping into it. I'm just going to prime my eyes right now. I'm probably not really going to talk to the products, but we'll see. Might end up speaking a little bit about them as we go. But yeah, if you're interested in hearing about kind of where I'm at right now, what life is looking like for me, and the status of my no buy, then just keep on watching, please. So I really want to talk about my no buy, low buy. This year, I really had intentions when I started this year that I was going to update it every quarter and just share with you kind of my thoughts, things that I was interested in buying, or things that I had learned and things that I was, you know, exploring within my collection. I really wanted to have that as a core series on my channel, and I unfortunately just did not maintain that at all. But that being said, I have maintained my no buy entirely. I've really managed to be able to just not purchase, and that is in part because I do receive some PR. Now, since I've moved into this house, I've actually had very little PR. I've just felt like I don't have the time or the energy to be able to try out products and share, you know, specific things with my audience, because I have taken on a lot of project pans and I am feeling a little bit overwhelmed by that. Actually, I'm using the Katie Jane Hughes and Spectrum brush collection, which matches my nails. I didn't even realize that prior, but I'm using this. They're all freaking totally dirty, but that's what I'm using today. I haven't had a chance to wash my brushes. I purchased this set, I guess, a few weeks back, and I've been trying it out, playing with it, really getting to know all the brushes, and I really enjoy it. But I feel like it's not really like a standalone brush set for me. I do think I'd need a couple other brushes in a collection. Not at all the point of this video, but I did purchase that in October. And now that it is November, if you're not familiar with what my like no buy, low buy situation was, I was on a complete no buy from January to May. May, I was able to purchase whatever, whenever I wanted for the entire month of May. And then again, another like 5-6 months off. So no buy completely from June to end of October. And then November, I could purchase makeup again. This no buy did not really pertain to skincare, hair care, nail polish. It only pertained to makeup. And so I bought this makeup brush set in October, and it's quite a pricey set. I did buy it within the constraints of my no buy. I was allowed to do so. And now that I've purchased this, I have zero desire to buy any makeup in the month of November because I kind of budgeted for this brush set. And now that I have it in my life, I'm having fun just exploring, trying new things, utilizing these brushes instead of utilizing new makeup. So I am technically a few days into a low buy period where I really can purchase whatever I want. The limitation was $500 for this year in those low buy periods. So 500 bucks I feel like is quite a lot of money. But I have no desire to buy anything. I truly have been thinking about it, especially because it's nearly my 30th birthday. Oh my gosh. Every time I look at my makeup collection, I still feel like I have no desire to purchase anything new and bring anything new into my collection because my collection is still quite vast and a lot of things that are quite old. So yeah, I think I'm just going to not purchase anything except maybe a mascara because I do have a couple mascaras that I'm working through right now. I really want to get back the CoverGirl Clump Crusher in my life because I just love having that for like my lower lashes because it doesn't smudge or anything and it never looks too heavy on my lower lashes. It's kind of like a staple in my collection for me. There are definite temptations. Do not get me wrong. Do not think that I just have ceased to enjoy the idea of new makeup. I love makeup. I love trying new products and I love having endless options in my life. But I kind of feel like where I'm at with my collection and how I acquired makeup over the past like 3-4 years, I have things in my life that have virtually gone untouched that I've had for 3 years. So I still feel like I can get that like feeling of having newness in my collection simply because there are things that I'm just not familiar with even after years of having them in my life. And in saying that, I feel like over these past few years of project panning, I have definitely learned quite a lot about how I consume makeup and how I want to consume makeup going forward. Not just purchasing and acquiring makeup, but actually utilizing and getting used to completion or getting just use in terms of rotation of my makeup collection. I feel like I've learned a lot specifically in 2021. I've been very critical of how I'm using things in my collection and hyper aware of that because I have been on this no buy. And through not allowing myself to purchase things as a whole, but especially not impulsively, I have been able to really think about my collection as it stands and how I want to move forward with it. And I have been very hyper aware of those items that are in my collection that have been lingering for super long, but I can't seem to part with them because I don't want to hand them off. They're so old. I just don't want to risk that for someone else. And I obviously still don't even know if it's something that could be of value to me. Obviously, if it's lived for this long, it probably isn't, but it could be, so I can't seem to part with it. Moving forward in the coming year, and I hope just like moving forward just as a general rule, I have no desire to really acquire that much more makeup. I have probably years of products in front of me. Yeah, definitely years worth of makeup in front of me. And if I were to continue to bring in more, it could be like entire lifetimes worth of makeup. And I just don't need that. I don't need that whatsoever. My lifestyle, my creativity does not need that, does not benefit from that. And in saying and in recognizing that I already have enough, I have more than enough, I just feel like there has been this massive switch in me, and it is in part financial. I've talked about this before. It is in part financial because I was really wanting to spend 2021 saving in order to buy a home. I really wanted to do that. That was something that I wanted to do for my personal life. I really wanted to buy a house. And I have done so, and I feel so unbelievably fortunate and so unbelievably grateful for the fact that I have been able to do that, and especially because I was a full-time student and I had never been in a financially stable place in my entire adulthood, and it just kind of fell together in this way that was definitely not effortless, but unexpected for me. And I wish that I had posted, I filmed a video back in June before we moved into this house, and I really spoke about how I was feeling and the weight of that, and the kind of identity crisis I was going through in being able to do this, because I didn't ever see myself as being the kind of person who could be financially capable or responsible. And so I don't want to allow myself to get to a point where makeup or products in general, like just having goods and things, becomes the financial decider that it maybe once did. I used to really budget or like allocate my money to makeup, to clothing, and I didn't allocate my money to savings or to experiences in the same capacity that I have been now. And I feel like I have so much more fulfillment out of saving than I ever thought I could, for sure. It's a really cool feeling, actually. I know for a lot of people, a no-buy year or a low-buy year can be an impossible kind of feat, or it's something that you just can't do, and that's okay. It's okay if you trip up or you don't want to even attempt something like this. It just ended up being the perfect time and the perfect storm for me to commit myself to a no-buy year. And honestly, I'm not even sure that if I were to not have put myself on a no-buy year or like publicly said I was on a no-buy, I don't even know if I would have ended up purchasing makeup this year anyways, because I've been extremely preoccupied. Extremely preoccupied. Like, unable to think about wanting to buy certain types of things. Of course, I've had to purchase items for our home, including like just tools and exterior things. I've had to purchase things, but I haven't really had the mental space to think about purchasing new makeup. And I have in part been a little bit overwhelmed by the amount of products that I'm project panning as well. That's a bit of a whole other subject, but I have been a little bit overwhelmed with the sheer volume of items that I'm project panning that I don't even want to think about testing something new as well. So that can be a pro and a con to project panning, is it can create a little bit of a distraction, a little bit of noise so that you can't think about buying other things. But I also feel as though in having this overwhelming number of products that I've been focusing on, I have let other things just go completely and entirely neglected for years. 4 years of my project panning journey, things have been underutilized. I've been hyper focused on my project panning because I've taken on a lot of project pans and a lot of focus items in just trying to have some fun and learn things about the way that I want to pan in the future. So do I want to set usage goals? Do I always want to use things up to completion? Do I want to set myself goals of hitting pan on things? Do I like the idea of having a balance of both of those types of things where, you know, some things I want to use up entirely and other things I just want to, you know, ensure that I'm rotating through my collection through that lens of wanting to experiment and wanting to know and wanting to understand my project panning style. I've overwhelmed myself. Like, I'm at this point now where with the number of project pans that I've taken on this year, which isn't that much compared to some other people, but I don't want to compare myself because this is my own experience. I just feel like I already have a full face of products in front of me when I sit down to reach those goals on those products, so I'm not reaching into my collection and the other items that are outside of project pans, and I'm not really getting use out of those non-focus things. And I have really wanted to figure out what that balance is this year, and I have not done so. Even with being aware of wanting to do that, I haven't found that. And this year for me, I've been really saying I'm gonna try to find the balance. I need to find, you know, that rhythm. And I've talked about that in many aspects of my life, and I have not accomplished that in any one of them. In fact, I'm feeling more and more lately like I'm overwhelmed than that I figured it out, really and truly. So I kicked off this video talking about how like the success of my no-buy, you know, exists, I guess. I guess you could look at it as a success because I haven't purchased much makeup. I purchased a handful of things back in May when I was able to, but it really wasn't that many products. But I haven't figured out the balance of my work-life balance for sure. As I said, I was a student earlier in this year, and then I moved into a full-time position for my job with new role, new responsibilities, and I haven't figured that out yet. I still, like, I'm doing my job. I just haven't figured out how, like, through my work day, I can have, you know, a little bit of relief, a little bit of balance, and I haven't quite figured that out yet. I feel really overwhelmed with work. I feel really overwhelmed with the responsibilities of owning a home in terms of, you know, the things that we want to do. Luckily, we bought a turnkey house, so nothing on the interior or the exterior of the actual physical house has to be done. But there's a lot of landscaping kind of stuff, backyard stuff that needs to be done. And although you don't really want to or have to do all that stuff in the first year, it was kind of things that are prepping for next year and future years, but also things that did need to be addressed immediately. So finding that balance in my personal life has been a struggle, and finding that balance in my makeup consumption has been a struggle. And then kind of to really bring it back to the platform that we're on here and the voice that I have here, the idea of finding a balance of content to upload, finding even the time sometimes to sit down and film, and being in the right headspace to film has been really hard for me lately. Because of the number of project pans that I've taken on, I feel like my entire channel is strictly project pan videos. It's just updates, and all of a sudden I'm like, the day before the update, I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't filmed this video, and then it's just rushed. It feels like urgent and reactionary, and I haven't been able to figure out how to get back on the train of having a more balanced schedule of uploads and types of content uploaded to my channel, but just being able to be better prepared. Like, I don't know, I just am having a really hard time with that this year, to be honest. The balance of things is really, really quite challenging, and I've had days where I felt so overwhelmed, and I do start getting this feeling where I feel almost like it's an obligation to sit down and film when I have finally found a little pocket of free time or of space, and I just haven't given into that in a lot of those instances because I just don't feel like I'm at my actual best right now, and I want to enjoy uploading videos. I really, really do. I want to enjoy project panning. I really do. And I've kind of found myself in this spot where a lot of it feels a little overwhelming. Next year, I'm kind of thinking that in 2022, I'm just gonna have one focused project pan that I rotate through. It's not gonna have any sort of theme or anything like that. and then my Pan Those eyeshadows, because I have a freaking blast with that project. I really, really do. And I love sharing the looks, and I love sharing my experiences with my Pan Those eyeshadows focus products. And then one other project pan, and none of these other collaboration project pans. I just don't feel like I'm capable of that balance, because I don't want to overwhelm myself with a schedule that is so regimented, and like, you have to upload on this day, you have to upload on this day, and I just don't feel like I can adhere to that. And I don't want to feel like project panning is a chore, because there are so many great products in my collection that I want to play with, or I want to allow myself to feel inspired by and excited to use, that I just kind of sometimes do suppress that feeling, because I'm like, well, why would I reach for that cream blush because I'm working on this cream blush in this project pan? I really need to focus on that. I really need to finish it up. I need to get the uses in and whatever. And so my relationship with my makeup collection has kind of changed to that. And it's not really working for me right now. It's worked for me in the past for sure, but it's not working for me right now. I feel like this video is just an actual shit show, so apologies in advance. Well, we're about halfway through, but apologies. I have a lot of stuff to learn about how I want to move forward with this channel, because I really want to be able to talk to more things than just sitting down and sharing with you progress that I've made on products. I want to talk a little bit more about other realms and different types of content. But as it stands right now, with trying to find that balance between my life, my work, and my YouTube channel, I'm not in a place where I'm doing this how I want to do it. I'm not right now. And I really enjoy sitting down and filming. Don't get me wrong. I have so much fun when I do sit down to film, but there are some times when I don't feel in the mood for it, because it has gotten a little bit kind of repetitive, and I feel like it's getting a little bit stale having just exclusively project pans. And I don't think that that's the impression that a lot of people get, but I don't feel at my best, or like I'm putting out my best, because I'm lacking, again, that balance. Balance is really the key word that I want to bring in as a focus in 2022 and into my 30th year. Well, 31st year, I guess. Whatever. Into my 30s. Yeah, I just really want to bring the word balance as a focus into my 30s with me. I've been thinking about all the products that I want to use up in the new year, and I've been thinking about the ways that I want to use them. And honestly, I think that what I'm going to do for my 2022 just year-long rolling project pan, I am really excited about. I'm going to kick off the year with an entirely brand new set of products that have never ever been project pans. And I'm just gonna set myself, you know, some probably more short-term kind of goals for them, not trying to use those kinds of items up because there haven't ever been a focus product, but more familiarizing myself with them, giving them a little bit more focus and just getting to know them. And then eventually throughout the project, I would rotate in products that have previously been in project pans, but I kind of need a bit of a reset for panning. I'm not ready to entirely stop panning. I don't want to. I think that panning is extremely beneficial for me, but I do need to do something very different in order to continue to feel like it's working. I need a change, and I'm excited. I actually have been writing down products that I want to use in the coming year. So last year I did a video that was inspired by a couple different creators here, Kelly Gooch and Sarah Rose, where I talked about the products that I wanted to use up in 2021. And so I've been kind of going through that sort of process in my head already, thinking about the products I want to use up in 2022, but also just thinking about the products I want to give more love in 2022. And I'm getting really excited for the project pans that I have at the moment to be over because I really want to start focusing on some other items and looking at my collection in maybe a different lens than I have been lately. It may not be a permanent thing and it may not last the entire year. I might be halfway through the year and feel like, okay, I'm ready to take on some other products and I want to do a different seasonal project. Like, part of me really thinks that I want to do the Graveyard Project pan. But at the same time, I just right now feel like I want to have just a small selection of items that are a focus and allow myself the breathing room to use my collection in a more natural way, unregulated kind of way. Because lately I have felt, especially as we're nearing this end of the year, I have felt like I'm getting like, oh no, I can't use non-focused products because I need to make that progress and I need to reach that goal. And that's just so, it feels a little backwards to me because the entire point of project panning is to use and love what I have. This eye look is so fun. I'm really happy with it. I've had this look in my head from last night and I'm really happy I decided to do it today. So in addition to like less project panning next year, I still want to be better about tracking like what's coming into my life. And, you know, I think I really want to do that so that I can understand the age of the products that are in my life. Because there are things that I'm like, I think I've had this 3 years. I think I've had this 4 years. I think I might have had this 5 or 6 years. And I kind of want to just know a little bit better how long I've had things. And I want to keep tabs on how much is coming into my life and what I'm actually using in comparison to that. So I don't want it to be like any kind of series on my channel. That's just more of like a personal kind of practice, I think. I just want to be more aware. I want to be more cognizant of my consumption and my impact. Because all of these things that come into my life, all this makeup that is currently sitting in my drawers and all of the makeup that will come into my life in the coming years and stuff, it all is garbage at the end of the day. It's garbage now and it's garbage later. And yeah, I just want to be more aware about that. Really want to be more aware about that because when you think about having 3-year-old makeup in your collection, yes, I'm letting that product go bad and I'm, you know, possibly gonna have to one day throw out the product that's inside of that. And that's what I purchased it for and that's what I brought it into my life for, was the product itself. But I also have to throw away the packaging. And I'm currently sitting on a stash of a lot of garbage. A lot of garbage. I am. It's garbage right now, whether it's in the bin or not. It's garbage. It's stuff that's gonna outlive me. It's plastic that's gonna outlive me. So it's garbage. Everything that we have in front of us and that we're surrounded by, it's all garbage. It's just not garbage yet. That's all. I don't know. I feel like I'm just rambling at this point. That's kind of my thing though. So, and when I was talking about my no-buy back in the early parts of this year, I was speaking about that, being more considerate of the waste component of my project panning or of my collection in general. And it still has not really been put into practice by me. I am definitely failing on that front because I have accepted PR that was products that I just truly did not need. Things that I haven't gotten any kind of use or familiarity with, even though I've had them in my life for months. So I'm not done with my no-buy journey. I'm not done with my consumption journey or project panning journey. It's gonna be an ongoing thing for sure for me to unlearn this want and desire to just have things and to say yes to gifts or PR opportunities because it's cool, it's interesting, it's exciting, it's new, and it's not really a thing that, you know, everyone in this world has the opportunity to do, so I should give into it. But when I think about who I want to be as a person outside of YouTube, I don't want to be the person that has the new of everything and has the new exciting thing. I don't want to be that person. No, because the impact of that, the weight of that is quite a lot, and without having time in my schedule to sit down and speak about those products, it just feels extremely wasteful without really wanting to have those things just as a general part of my personal life, feeling like I don't want to have those things. It just doesn't make sense. Just doesn't make sense. So I've really pared down on the amount of PR that I accept. I did feel in the past, and I don't receive a lot of PR by any means, but I have felt in the past overwhelmed by PR because YouTube is not my job. It will never be my job. I don't want this to be my job. I want this to be my fun hobby. I want this to be my community, this to be my way of connecting with people and of expressing myself and being myself. I don't want this to be it is monetized, but I don't want this to be my everything. I want to have other balance in my life and other avenues and stuff that I pursue, because when it comes down to it, this channel is about makeup. It's about things. And I, at my core, am not that person. Like, I'm not really consumed by things or wanting things anymore. I definitely was for a long time, and that's when this channel really started and blogging really started for me, was because I was very much consumed by consuming. And I don't see myself as that person anymore. But you'll definitely have to share with me, like, what are some non-project panning and maybe even non-beauty things that you'd like to see from me on this channel. Next year, I'm kind of thinking I'll post like 4 to 6 videos a month. I don't want to commit myself to like 2 uploads a week or anything like that, because again, balance, trying to figure it out still. Don't want to overcommit or overstretch myself, but I want to have one be my pan those eyeshadows, one be my project pan video, one be like an empties related kind of video, and then I don't know what the other ones are quite yet. So as I said, probably some recipes, but I'd love to hear from you. What are some other beauty related things that you'd like to see from me? I love doing like beauty challenges or like palette bingos, get ready with me kinds of videos. I'd love to do that as one of those extra videos. And then maybe there's some other subject matter that you'd like to see from me, or other types of content that you'd like to see from me. I'd love to hear that down in the comment section down below. But I think this is the end of today's video, because I'm definitely on a ramble for sure. I can't seem to stop talking, but I feel like I'm talking in circles. So that is everything for today's video. I did not talk about any of these products whatsoever, but I'm really happy with the way that this look came together. I really enjoy it. I hope that you enjoyed just chatting with me, reconnecting a little bit with me, but let me know down in the comment section what you'd like to see from me in the new year. And yeah, that is everything. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.